Anyone else trained to do it.
Oh, I understand. Believe me, I've been here long enough to know.
Yeah.
All right, morning, guys.
Morning.
So what was our conversation about yesterday?
Kids, like pedestrian crosswalks.
R factor.
Safety.
Safety. All good takeaways from yesterday. So
Brian-
today,
Brian's kids.
yes. And I did, we, as a company, purchased some flowers yesterday, and they'll be delivered tomorrow, or, yeah, tomorrow is a funeral. From 3 to 5 is viewing, 5 o'clock is funeral in Jamestown. So, to show the support, we did purchase some flowers and send them. I did that last night, so. But today I wanna talk about training. How much extra stuff do we do that's not on the OJT form?
OJT form.
The on-the-job training form that gets
Yeah,
signed off to get
it's a long
certified?
checklist
Yeah.
of operational exercises,
Must
put
be,
it that
yeah.
way.
Some of the things that I've noticed, like doing DOT logs, if you've not done them in the past, you might not know how to do it, right? So that's something I think that should happen during training. What are some other things that you guys think should happen during training? What are some things that you need to cover with the new drivers?
Everything, going over it 2-3 times.
Well, that's pretty broad. Let's narrow it down a little bit.
Other than the operation of the truck route.
Yeah.
Most common blind spot,
CDR is big, yeah.
common blind spots of a truck,
Yeah, blind
the
spots.
different types of trucks that they may be running.
Scanning every hazard when you're coming into a site ahead of time.
Yeah. So doing a good scan, that's very important to explain that, right?
Yep.
How do you get in the building? What do you need?
This building.
Our building,
Better have PPE on.
right? What do you need to get in the building?
The key.
Key.
Making sure that they have key. Making sure they know what time dispatch closes. Knowing what we can do to alleviate issues like that.
What time does dispatch close? Do you know what time the dispatcher is done?
6 o'clock, 6 p.m.
Okay.
Yep, 1800.
You know, those are the little things that are, non-truck related, but important if they're running behind schedule.
I guess I actually didn't know.
Yeah. I mean, if you're, let's say you're broke down for the day or something,
6 o'clock.
you should always touch base with dispatch or Jake or somebody before you reach that 6 o'clock level, let them know, I've got 5 stops left, I will get them, or whatever the case is, but have that last level of communication before dispatch closes for the day. Because they see you're still out on route, but once it's 6 o'clock, if something would happen, there's no one there.
Are there any other things you guys think should be covered? I mean, this is a very broad topic. And I'm asking for your guys' opinion, because I'm gonna make up a little bit of a checklist that's gonna go along with the OJT form, so we can cover our bases, so people know.
What usually comes in November and December what happens to the weather?
Snow.
Yeah. What do you have to put on your truck? Or tires?
Chains?
Chains and carry, right, you said some kind of grit, make sure that's on the truck, and it's seasonal, so if we bring people on in the spring, we don't think about those things, but it's something that we probably should, as a mental reminder, we
At
can
least ask
briefly
the
mention
question.
it, put it that way, yeah.
Well, it's not only ice, but, during the spring, you got mud, which is just as slippery, but it's a complete different animal. Chains aren't gonna help you in the mud. You don't always sink.
Right. Probably just.
And sometimes you do.
Right,
While you're
probably,
sliding.
probably just go over those problematic stops that when it does rain, you could be training someone and it's dry for 3 weeks. But when it rains, did you cover the stops that, you know what, this stop you gotta watch, holler, call, or I've sunk a truck here before, you know? Just those kind
Or
of,
this is the road you can't go down. because
Exactly,
That's,
yeah.
I mean, 5 mile an hour and you're still gonna bite the ditch.
so we have to think about the exceptions.
And that goes into the communication piece, right? Because we gotta communicate that, how do we make notes? How do we resequence? How do we do all these extra things that we don't think about because we're training someone how to drive a truck? Okay? So I want you guys to think about that, and if you have any ideas, come to me. This is part of this knowledge sharing. You know, like you said, Mike, you didn't know that dispatch closed at 1800, right?
No.
So that's important. That's important information to know.
What also helps out is like when John does deliveries, he's out before like some of us are, and he can get out on those roads. Like the one time he told me, hey, get down south of Judson,
Yeah, that was bad.
ride the Crown. You go off the Crown, you're going in the ditch, and as soon as I got on it, my speeds was only 15 miles per hour, and I was riding on the Crown because I
And
was
you
doing this.
were white knuckling steering wheel because the truck was
Just
drifting.
all over.
That's-
He had the
that's-
CD truck.
That's
He was all over.
communication as well, but it's kind of off topic a little bit with the training aspect, okay? It's, if you know the roadways, then we should probably label that under notes, and we'll go forward with that. But,
One of the first things I tell them is you don't be afraid to ask any questions. And at the end of the day, I usually go, okay, do you have any questions?
And they're not
I
gonna
will
know.
try, you know, because I can't remember to tell you everything. You know, there's a lot more going on.
Well, they're not gonna have maybe unique seasonal questions, those type things. It's when you're in the seat and you're driving from stop to stop, you got a lot of miles in between, you can start thinking about all the, maybe, like you said, Jake, you know, have a checklist, and then as a driver, review some of these things. You know, weather conditions, when it's snowing out, or when it's muddy out, you know, this road isn't the best, those kind of
Yep.
things. So all that special knowledge helps a lot.
that's my goal, is to make a checklist for the drivers that are training new drivers, because we've got to be able to cover that information. So what's the takeaway today, guys?
Communication again.
Yeah?
Communicate with your, if you're training somebody or whatever.
You have something on? It looked like you were gonna say something, it was just a deep breath. Anyone else? Communication is huge, that's honestly probably the one contributing factor, what we need for this to work, right?
And the other main thing is still comes down to it, knowledge.
Yeah.
You know the road, explain them, this is good, but when it rains, this is bad. Always getting a heads up of what's good and bad out on those roads.
And that's where we're gonna leave it, because sharing knowledge is key to STO, right? One of the keys. So let's have a safe day, and let's just keep that in the back of your head. If you come up with anything, let me know, and I'll put it down, okay?
When in doubt, go home.
Yes, we are.
Oh, Ryan, I was trucking out here.
Yeah.
Probably a good day.